Yo, what's up, beautiful people? Butch here with Bad at Life. This video that I made is kind of explaining how to put together the Kangook Amaruk XD with the Polini Thor 202. So if you have either that frame or that engine set up, or if you have both, this video will help you. I noticed as I was editing this video that I should have probably wore a head cam. That way you could have seen more what I'm doing. But fear not, before long here I'll be ripping this thing back apart, doing some more changes to it, and I will wear a head cam to show you everything, break down everything, show you in detail better how to work on it and maintenance it and put it together, take it apart. I'll give you all the details, what I've learned from this engine, this frame setup so far. I love this frame, I love this engine. I'm very, very happy with it. I plan on turning this frame into a trike eventually and getting another frame for a foot launch unit. That's the plans. So I hope this video helps you out. It's a two-part video. Check it out. It's a long one, so I'm going to put in timestamps in the description below to help you go to whatever section you need to help you. But I hope you enjoy it. Leave a comment, subscribe, share this. I appreciate you. Have a great day. Oh yeah, also, we have a hurricane hitting Tuesday. Today's Sunday. I had to put the storm shutters up on the house, so pray for us. We just had a Hurricane Helene hit up in North Florida, go up into the Carolinas and do a lot of destruction. It's very, very sad. We live here in Cape Coral, and a couple years ago we got hit really, really hard, and we have a hurricane coming right at us again right now. So just pray for us. Pray for everyone. I hope everybody makes it out if you're here in Florida or if you're up there up north and you got hit and we had this other hurricane come. I hope everybody is okay. Everybody just got to stick together and help out one another and just be nice to each other. I got my storm shutters up. I got everything ready. Got the generator ready. We'll be ready for this. But I hope you enjoy this. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, stay back. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Bad at Life. I'm Butch. Today we're going to go over putting a paramotor together. It's a Kangook Amaruk XD with the Polini Thor 202, E-props 140. I have a Dudek harness. What else do I have? And a bunch of custom made parts on it. I'm going to start off thinking NGS manufacturing in Naples, Florida. They do signs, custom mailboxes. They do a bunch of stuff there. I'm good friends with the owner. Went by there today. I custom made a bracket for my radiator to lift my radiator higher up above my head to have it where it runs cooler. I believe it sits right behind my head. All the Polini Thor 202 brackets do. The radiator's right behind your head, and it just doesn't get enough airflow. So I went there and I made this bracket here at the house, and I'll throw some pictures in here of it. Made this bracket, and then I went and had it welded on, as you can see, and I painted it today, got it all set up. I tried to rush it because I want to get it together to go flying tomorrow. So I was talking with Lenny, which he's the owner of NGS Signs Manufacturing, and we're going to work together and design. We're going to see how this works, and we're going to work together and manufacture a bracket that will raise the Polini Thor 202's radiator higher up above the head. We're gonna manufacture that, get it all set up, and we were gonna start selling them with the hoses to extend them. So mine is pretty much the test dummy right now. That's the test. I'm the dummy. So we're gonna test it out, see how it does, and then we're gonna make a solid bracket, one piece, with a leg that comes off of the engine to help support it. We have to add that to mine still. I just wanted to test it out first. So hopefully this comes out good. We'll see how it works. I want to first go over some of the issues that I've had with this Kangook Amaruk XD. I've had this thing apart twice now, and both were the same reason. I was landing one time in the field and it was kind of wet and grassy, and the grass was high, and I was gonna go lay my wing down, and I slipped and I fell over to the side and actually bent my frame a little bit. And I'll show you right here, and this was right after I had bought it. You can see the paint peeling right here. You can see there's a little bit of a jog right here. And on the other side, it's the same thing, but the paint is not peeling yet here. And it's right below where the sides mount onto it. I have bent this back in shape once, and then I did a butt landing again. Like, not a butt landing, I just kind of slid and fell on my butt, and it bent easy again. I mean, I don't know. I took it all apart, cleaned everything, cleaned the tank, cleaned the frame, cleaned my hoop, my netting, wiped everything down, degreased everything, the engine. I mean, I cleaned everything. I bent the frame back in place again. So we'll see. I mean, it's hard. I mean, you bend this frame a little bit. What are you going to spend? Another $1,000 or $1,200? I don't remember how much it was off the top of my head. How much the new main frame is. But I mean, it's a lot of money to come out of your pocket each time. I wasn't looking to spend the money right away. I just bought this thing, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bend it back in place myself. So I have a few ideas. I don't know if I'm gonna go too crazy on this thing, because I mean, I'm obviously gonna keep it. I'm not gonna sell it. I was thinking about welding some panels here to strengthen it a little bit more. The reason I went to NGS Manufacturing today was because I don't have an aluminum spool yet for my welder, so I had to go there to use that. I also made here this bracket. To mount to the engine, and that already has broken. That's the stock one that it came with right here. I made this. I'll put some pictures in there as I was making this. I should have made a video about making it. Yeah, got it made and painted. Also, good news, I finished welding on the paramotor simulator hanger bracket. It's heavy and it's solid. I mean, it's going to be strong. So I finished welding that. I now have to build the A-frame out of wood. So I got to get the wood this week to build that. And then that'll be done. I can get that over to Cullen, get him set up. That's pretty much it. I mean, okay, so I had this issue with the frame twice. I've bent the frame twice here. I also hit on the side of my hoop, and my hoop went into my prop and bent a piece of my hoop. I've kind of everything scattered in here in the house. I don't have the AC hooked up in my garage yet, so I wanted to bring everything into my garage or into my house, put it together tonight because I plan on going flying tomorrow. So as you can see right here, this is where my prop hit my hoop and broke my prop. Yeah, so that's it. I also have another anti-torque wing for this side of the cage. I still have the one on my on my right side I'm kind of practicing with this, seeing how these work. Nobody makes these for the Kangook Amaruk XD, so I think we're gonna offer those too. He's already got a company, so I'm gonna start making some parts for him, and I like to get some other paramotors and start making some parts. Ever since I was a kid, I've been into engineering and manufacturing things. I love making stuff and designing things, and I just want to get back into that in my life, you know, deal with that kind of stuff. But so we're gonna get together tonight here and start assembling everything. I'm gonna help everybody that has this frame or has this engine. I have a few little tricks that I've done with this engine to help it everything work really good together. And I'm going to share some of those secrets with everybody. I mean, they're not so much secrets. I've also had some help from iKenFly PPG. He helped me out with the Polini Thor 202 because I'm a heavier guy. I wanted the bigger engine, and people were saying, oh, they burn up. Well, I have over 50 hours on this engine now, and I haven't had any issues with it. I love it. I change my wet clutch gearbox oil every 2 flights. Also clean my spark plug. I check everything, go through everything. I have a camera I put down inside of the cylinder and check the cylinder, see how the piston's doing, see how the cylinder's doing. I just tune it. I watch my EGTs, and that's about it. Keep it in the right areas. I'm fixing to also here in the next week or so, I'm gonna get a 2-way toggle or 3-way toggle switch where I'm gonna hook up my temperature gauge for the head of the Polini Thor 202, so I can check that temperature as I'm flying. I can switch back and forth between EGTs and the head to check the temperature. So that'll be coming up in another video, but I'm gonna help teach you guys how to put together. I have all my tools laid out here, as you can see. Trying to get my camera to light up here. I got all my tools. Everything's kind of set up, ready to go, that I pretty much use. We have the frame here. We have the harness here with the reserve already on the side. That's my little back plate right there, plastic back plate. It's clean, ready to go. There's the Polini Thor 202, all cleaned up, ready to go. We have the new radiator bracket to get it higher up. Got the new little fuel bracket right here. Got the old radiator hose and new radiator hose, and some extra tubing because I like to make these little standoffs right here to hold everything in place. This is the wire. This is a safety wire for the air box to keep it from going into the prop, because I've had that happen before. That's how I know that you have to put that thing on there. The air box will go into the prop. And of course, E-props. #1. I love my E-props. I think they're the best thing going. I want to upgrade here pretty soon and get a 3-bladed E-prop. And then I'll have that for my backup. And then I have, of course, the Glider Sports. I have the Glider Sports prop, which looks like a Helix prop. Which is the prop that I don't like. I don't like that prop at all. Some people may like that prop. I don't like it at all, but I have that as a backup too, and I will never use that if I don't have to. Hopefully I'll find somebody that will want it and I can offer it to them. Maybe they like it. I've used it one time and I don't ever want to use it again. I will always fly E-props. I will always have a backup E-prop. I will never switch to anything else. I love my E-props. E-props are #1. Thanks to Aviator for helping me out with my E-props. I really appreciate Aviator. Appreciate Tucker Gott for all the stuff that I've ordered through him. I appreciate Cullen Mahoney, Paramotor Naples, for helping me out get this thing set up and also helping me get into the sky. That's enough for now. Thanked enough people. So let's get to getting. Let's get this thing put together. So we're gonna start off by putting the engine on the frame. That's #1 to do. Put the engine on the frame. So let's get to it. It's kind of tricky doing this because you have to lay the frame on the ground. You have to leave the engine blade on the ground. You have to wiggle the radiator and the bracket into there to get into place. I've also had to resize bolts on that engine mount that Kangook supplied you with, because the top two up here were too long, so I had to resize them, get the right size. I also, the Polini Thor 202 bracket that comes with the radiator, you have to, if you fly this frame, I'm saying, you have to bend this bracket back and then back up to make it work with this frame. It's not gonna work stock the way you get it. You're gonna have to bend it to make that work into there. I already pre-bent this one, the new one that I made. I pre-bent it today. As you can see, a little dog leg in it right there. It's already bent up, ready to go. It's all welded. All this was welded and painted and everything today, so it's still kind of soft. I know it's a little too early, but you know, I want to fly tomorrow. So let's get this thing together. I'll shut up for a second and get you guys set up to where you can see what I'm gonna do. These are your spacers right here to go between the engine and the frame. How could I forget? We need to mount this bracket on first. This goes right here. So this screw right here that's the screw right here. This is for the little three-way. We have a screw and a little nut here for this. I'm gonna get those. I don't know if you guys can see very good. Let me go get a socket for this. For this little bracket here, we have a 8mm socket. That's for the nut for the back side here. And then we have a Phillips screwdriver for the front side. So we will start off, we'll move this over here. We will start off. Now this, you have to make sure you turn this the right way. This goes like this. This angle side goes out, away from the engine, because this will come up into here. Yeah. So yeah, it goes like that. So let's get to getting. Let's mount this thing on. So here we go. So we'll stick these two screws into here. You're gonna stick the Phillips head side straight down like this into here, like that. And we'll go ahead and start our nuts on the back side. And so far it looks like a pretty good fit for custom making this little bracket. I mean, you can order these little brackets, but I was like, you know what? Why order it? I'll just make it myself. Anything I can try to make myself, I will. Over ordering anything. Alright. So now we'll snug them up and make sure they're centered. Make sure everything's nice and centered. There we go. Everything looks good. Let's tighten this one. All right. There we go. As you can see, I've got that on there. That looks good. Now we have to mount this with this little screw here, a little Phillips head. So you put the Phillips head in here to the inside of this little L bracket, angle iron piece, and go straight into this. And there we go. New bracket, ready to go. Perfect. Old bracket, new bracket. So hopefully it stands up to the test of time. Oh, look at there. My rubber, my mount was off. Good thing we we're looking back here. See that? Always check all of these, make sure everything's good. As you're looking over everything, I'm getting ready to have to replace this bushing back here for the exhaust. So I'm getting ready to order the maintenance kit for the Polini Thor 202. I have to order that through Aviator and go through and kind of maintenance everything that needs it. That's about it. All right, let's get back to getting this thing together. Now we have that ready. That will go here like this. We'll turn it a little bit as we tighten it. Everything's secured, ready. We have the radiator here. Now this is where it gets to be a pain, is mounting this frame to this engine, especially when you're by yourself. You go sit in the Aviator chair and watch what we got going on here. You definitely want to put a towel, especially if you're doing it on your floor in your house. Keeps your wife from getting on you. All right, so now we're gonna set this over here. We don't need that now. Now we're going to need Loctite, and I suggest getting your bolts started in first, and then taking one at a time out and Loctiting them. I found that to be easier rather than putting Loctite on them. I mean, you can do a Loctite on first to start off, but you gotta think you're gonna be trying to line everything up at the same time while trying to have Loctite on them. So I found it easier, since I've done this already, put it together the first time and then took it back apart, fixed the frame the second time. This is the third time that I'm putting this engine on this frame. I found it easier to put the bolts in and then take one at a time back out and Loctite them. So that's the way I'm gonna do it. That's the way I found it's the easiest way to do this. Now that this radiator bracket kind of sticks out a little farther, you're gonna have to be kind of set out a little bit. All right. This is a piece of PEX water line. I found it blue to match everything else. This keeps your rope from chafing on this frame, because you'll see if you have this frame with this engine, you'll run along the radiator bracket that's stock. You'll rub up against that with your pull start and in between the frame. So I found this to be really helpful to keep you from chafing your pull start rope. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna mate the frame up to the engine. Oh, it might help if I turn it over the right way. All right, here we go. So I will start with my top two bolts in the radiator first, and then I'll lean everything back a little bit. So we got this on tighten. All right, all ready to go. So here we go. Like I said, this is really tough to do yourself. Let's see, we use the old foot. Nope. All right. So I'll have to. So we'll have to use the ammo can to help hold the engine up kind of level to set this engine on there. Let's see. Lay that down like that. bring this up here. Go a little bit higher with it. Alright, so we just want to get this in here. Alright. Like I said, this is kind of tough. Alright, we got one bolt started. Now, on to the other one. Get this bolt started. Get her a little snugged up, just kind of the holder there. Okay, so there's that. Now, what we will do is pull these straps out of the way over here. And, oh, you know what? I need to get my spacers here ready. Oh, okay. Got our spacers ready. Get these out of the way. A really tough job try to do by yourself, guys. Got that one in. Now it's time to do this one. All right. Need to kind of loosen these up a little bit, give them a little bit of play. That way we can line this other one up now. Loosen this one up a little bit. That way it gives us a little bit to move around to tighten this back up. This is a really pain in the butt doing this. as you can see. Set this crossbar back here so we can get this one to line up. So this is really tough to do this. You know what? We're gonna go ahead and Loctite this one too while we're at it. You gotta kind of really fight with these things, man. These are these things are not easy to get in. So we'll go ahead and Loctite this one while we're at it. That way, once this one goes in, this one's already in, because we have to line it up with that fuel bracket. We have to line it up with that, plus line it up with the spacer and the engine. So you have a lot of stuff to line up with here when you're putting this one in. You know, hard to do by yourself. Like I said, you're gonna have to fight with this to get this in. But I think if I put my leg down here and pull the engine, I think we can get it in. What we'll do is we'll take this one back out a little ways and we'll line this one back up. There she goes. There she goes. She's in there now. Just had to lean her on her side a little bit. Loosen that one back up a little bit, lean her on her side, kind of push the frame and the engine over that way to get it to fall into place. Alright, so that one's in. Now we'll snug one of these up real quick. Maybe both of these. We'll snug these up to help assist of taking this one out and tightening it up. We'll snug both of these back up to assist in that of pulling that one back out and tightening that one back up. So now we can take this one out. It's tricky. Each one of these is tricky. Line them all back up. This one doesn't have all the bracketry that this one does and this one does. But this one you have to line the radiator up with everything. So it makes it a little trickier putting that one in. And also this bottom one has everything with its fuel system attached to it. So it can be a pain. So now let's see if we can get this one lined back up. Get it put back in. Let's see. Are we gonna have any luck? Sorry guys, my GoPro battery just got stuck in my camera. It's like swollen up. I bought this GoPro batteries off of Amazon. Look at this thing. Look at it. It's splitting. It's swelled up. The top even pulled off of it. The little pulling tab pulled off of it. It's swelled up. It's hot. I'm going to set this thing outside in case something happened. What the heck? Oh, that's no good. All right, back to it. So we need to tighten this thing back up. All right, it went in. All right, got her tight. And we'll scratch the markings off. Well, no, that mark shit. We'll remark these. All right, that one's snug. Now it's time to take these ones off, and we will. All right, so we'll take these ones out. We got the radiator bracket, everything's held together pretty good. We will go ahead and put some Loctite on these That way we can stick these back in. And then we'll make sure the radiator's lined up pretty good too when we put it back in. Okay. All right, we'll kind of make sure she's pretty straight. Now we'll tighten this one. And we'll repaint this bolt. Scratch this one off. Now we'll take this one out. Sorry, my dog is out there barking. Yeah, I'll have to show you guys my two dogs. I got two bullies. They're bullies for sure. All right, so we Loctited this one. Now we'll go ahead and stick it in. Now this is pretty much the hardest part, is mounting this engine on this frame. This is the hardest part of this whole deal, is getting this to line back up. It is a pain to get this thing lined back up. It is not easy. So now we'll get her set up on the bench. Yeah. There we go. She's a little back heavy right now, and she doesn't have any weight on the front of her. She doesn't have the harness or anything else on the front yet. So we'll take our throttle cable, set our throttle cable over here. Have this over here. We'll go ahead and hook up our fuel lines while we have this opened up. And we'll get our little standoffs built on our fuel line on the frame while it's all opened up. And we can get in there to it. And we'll start mounting these fuel lines on. So here's the little standoffs I make with the zip ties. Those kind of hold everything in place. Get our zip ties over here. Get everything ready. Looks like I'm running out of my bigger zip ties. I'm gonna have to get more of those. Okay, here's this fuel line. We'll lock her on. All right, there we go. I'll run this one over to here. And then I'll show you guys here in just a second what I'm doing. Okay. So the main fuel line coming in here, it goes down. I put a shut off primer bulb that goes to the side of the tank. Okay. Now this one is the return line that goes up here to that splitter, which we made that new little bracket for in there. You can kind of see it up in there, a new bracket that mounts in there behind that little spacer. And she comes down and comes over there. So now we will start making our little standoffs that go right here that hold our primer bulb in place. Keeps everything kind of secure. So let's get you set up. All right. So zip tie. You're gonna stick your zip tie in through the spacer like that, straight through. Now you will bring around the fuel line back through the little rubber piece. See? Back through. Now you got both ends on this side and the other end's looped around the fuel line. You will, I don't know if these zip ties are gonna be long enough because I have bigger ones that I made these with. So we'll see right now if this is gonna work. I don't know if it's gonna work. I might have to get bigger ones. Let's see. Wow, I really messed up on this, didn't I? I didn't make sure I had big enough zip ties. Oh, it worked. I don't know for how long. I'll have to replace these. I already know I'm gonna have to replace these. I don't think these are gonna hold long enough. Let me get my pliers. So now we'll snug these a little tighter. All right, there we go. Now we'll put our little clamp on our suction line. We'll bring that little clamp over here and clamp her down. You really don't need one on the return line. I will put a zip tie on the return line. Really doesn't get any pressure. So I don't put one on there. I will put one on there, but I normally don't. So we'll go ahead and stick one on there. I'll show you. See, there's a little clamp right here I'm talking about. I don't put one on the return line. I will just put a zip tie on there. It will be sufficient enough, but we'll do it anyways. All right, let's put her on there. I'll put the pliers on there, the pinzas, and pull it tight. All right, there we go. That's tight. Now we'll use one of my favorite tools that I have, and I have a lot of tools, but this is one of my favorite. These little Milwaukee flush cut snippers. I love these things. They cut these zip ties flush so you don't get nabbed on any of these. You know, zip ties, when you cut them, they leave a little sharp point on them. Now with these little guys make them just perfect and flush when they don't scrape you. Love them. So, all right, now we have another one to make right here for this one, for the top side. So again, we'll go in through the little fuel line spacer, right? Then we will get a hold of the fuel line. We will go around it with our point end. Then we will stick it back into the fuel line spacer, okay? Right here like this. See, back in. Then we will run this around here. There we go. We got her. All right. We got it. All right. I knew it was possible. So we'll kind of rotate this a little bit so we can get it over here so we can cut it. Bam, snipped. Now I gotta go find that so my wife doesn't find it and get on to me. All right, so I'll give you a look at what this is. As you can see here, here's those little standoffs. See, it just keeps everything spaced off of the frame here. Nothing's rubbing, and it holds it there, keeps it secure. You can reach around there and squeeze her. Fuel line's looped around. Everything is good. Perfect. I love it. There we go, ladies and gents. We are looking beautiful. Get this in here, get this in here. Okay, everything's fed out now. All right. So everything is ready now. Let's see. Everything looks good. Oh, I need to make the standoff for this radiator drain line. I'm gonna have to end up making this longer. I'm gonna have to get some more hose, because what I usually do is I run this. I found this to be better if you run this all the way down to down here. I usually run it to down here, because what happened before is I used to have it shorter and it stained my engine right here, the head, or not the head, but the cylinder. It stained my cylinder and I really didn't like it. I had it too short. So now I run it all the way down to the bottom right here. Like, this is still good. It's below the exhaust, so it's not gonna stain anything, but still, I'll get another one. I'll use it for now, and I'll run it all the way down to here where it dumps out down here. And I put them little standoffs that you've seen. I put those all the way down here. So I usually have like about 3 of them that hold this sticking out straight off of this bar right here like this. Keeps it secure. And I put them up here too to hold it off the exhaust, and that keeps it secure and lets any overflow dump off at the bottom. So I will be redoing that and changing that up. So you can see this radiator now. Look how much taller it is. Look how good that looks. That's so much better. We're gonna have to bend it a little bit, it looks like. So you can see she's up there now. So you gotta think my head will be right here. And the radiator will be right there above my head. So that'll be pretty good. It'll have a brace, and I'll show you what the brace I'm talking about. The brace that we're gonna make is we're gonna be going from right here on the head where this mount is. We're gonna be going from here up into here on the new styled ones. Test them out. We'll probably put like a linkage in between there that's adjustable. That way it's kind of universal. But that'll be coming. This is just a test dummy. So let's get to it. All right, we'll do the next part. Oh, I need to do my overflow, of course. So we'll do that first before I get too carried away with anything else. All right, so we'll run our overflow. So tomorrow I'll go get some more hose. I'm just gonna run it like this for now. This is just for a temporary, of course, until I get the right length that I'm gonna need for this. And like I said, when we offer these things in the near future, they will come already with this hose. It'll come with the length of the hose. It'll come with the blue hose or red hose. I think we're gonna look into coloring, see if we can get different lengths of color and offer some different colors. I think that'll be the way to go there. All right, so now we will go straight off of here for now. We'll just put one here. Kind of mount it there. Keep it low key as possible so I can run it all the way down the way I like it. And I'll be making another video kind of showing you the way I like to run it to the bottom. The way it doesn't dump on anything and get anything messed up looking. We can keep it nice looking. Get that thing pulled tight. And there we go. I mean, that's just gonna dump off for now. It is what it is. It's not what I like to see, but it's gonna have to work for now until I can get the longer one, reroute everything over to run all the way to the bottom. Okay, now let's put the back cover on now. Everything's ran, all the wiring's good, everything's still together, nothing got taken apart there. This right here, this pull start loop, that will be done after we put the cage loop on. That will be ran because that gets ran into this gets one of those little loops, one of these little standoffs that I make. That'll get one of these right here off of the cage to hold it in place. So that'll be after we get the cage put on. So here you go with your back cover. So the back cover, the strap goes up to the top. So we will put that on. Goes right here below where the swing arms mount to. And it just Velcros on. Of course, this is just a Polini engine. I mean the Kangook frame, so your frame may be different. But the strap will also go around this hose to help keep it off the exhaust for now too. Pull some of the slack out of it. Around. Bring her back in. Now we'll do the double loop back in. Help secure it. And there we go. Now on some of these straps you'll see, I'll show you in a little bit, I like to put a zip tie on them to keep the excess from pulling back out. The little trick I like to do. It keeps the tagline, the excess of the strap that sticks out. I like to put a zip tie on that to hold that in place from the excess pulling out. And I don't know if I'll be able to show you too well on this one, but I'll show you on these side ones that we have. I'll show you on those what I mean. This is a little trick I like to do. I'll show you on this one too right here. So you have this excess of the strap that you loop back through to keep it from flagging out all over the place. So I put a zip tie to hold that to the main strap, and that just keeps that from going anywhere. I did that the last time I put this thing together, and it held in ever since. They never came out and flapped around. So we'll go in there, we'll cut these off. There we go. All right, so that's on. All right, now we can start putting the harness on. Now it's time for the harness. So we'll start with the top straps first. These will be the straps that go up here. We'll start with those first. You have to kind of hold this up with your leg up here. That's why I like using this little bench thing. So start with our straps. Put these in. These only, support your life. You gotta make sure these things are right. Your life is only in the hands of these things. So you definitely wanna make sure these are right. Through, and then we double loop these two back through after you loop them in. The way is when you pull the strap, you can take your thumb on it. Once you loop it through the one twice, you can, I'll show you real quick. Hopefully nothing falls off here. Got my swing arms and everything still on there. So once you loop these things through, when you come through the first back side and back over and to the front, you can take your thumb, push against this, push this way, and pull this strap this way, and you can pull it really tight. It's a little trick I learned, like to help tighten them. You pull it kind of like this. See, use your thumb, push back that way on the buckle, and then pull the strap towards you, and it really gets those things tight. So now we're gonna take these and loop these back around and then back over again, and then zip tie them right here together, and that will lock those in place from going anywhere. So I'll do that now. I'll go ahead and double lock those back in. So like I said, we'll go up over through the strap like that. See? Now they're back through it, both. Let me pull this one tight again. Pick up the weight on it. Now we will double back through the back side. Well, triple, I guess, I don't know. So we'll loop it back through. See? So now we've came through the buckle. Now we've looped back over the buckle and went back down and out. And now we're gonna come back a third time, right? Or a fourth time. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Let me get some of the little zip ties and I'll show you the little trick that I'm talking about, like I showed you with that other buckle in the back side. So what I will do is I will stick a zip tie down through here, through this excess. I don't go to the main part of it, and I'll show you what I mean here in just a second. All right, let me get this zip tie in there. Now I can show you what I mean. So I'll show you here. So as you can see right here, now the first strap went up and over down, right? Now it's looping back over to the back. That's this one, okay? Now it's coming back through the back. Now this zip tie is right underneath that top loop. See, it's underneath the top loop, not the bottom loop, so it's not messing with its tension. Yeah, I could have tried to put it through the very bottom, but I don't want to mess with the tension in between this buckle. That's a safety thing. So I just go through this very top loop that I looped back, because you're going to loop it back again this way, right? And then you're going to tuck it into the harness. So what I do is I take this zip tie and pull it on that third wrap right there and zip tie this down to it. So you're going up and over, back in, and back down again, and the zip ties between those last two runs. I don't know if you can kind of see it right there. You can see, let me light my camera back up. You can see, like I said, the bottom down there. Let me get my little pen thing. So you can see the bottom wrap down there. That's the main bottom wrap where you're going up and over, and then when you're coming back out and then going back in again, that's in between that wrap and then the wrap that's going to come back over again. So it's not messing with the tension of the original first loop through of the belt. I don't know if it would really harm it or anything, but just in case, I don't do it. So I just loop it through the first or the second ones. So then we pull that tight. Now it doesn't let no slack come out of it. And this is just a preference. You can, obviously do what you like. This is what I like to do, because then I know it doesn't flap back over and pull out and have a chance to loosen up. It cannot flip up now. And you'll see what I'm talking about. See, now this strap cannot flip back up this way and then come back in or loosen up. See, there's nowhere for that thing to go. And then you just pull this down here, tuck it down in there where your reserve cord is. See, it's all hidden in there. I guess I should have put the zip tie to the inside, but oh well. You get the point. See, now I got to do this one. See the loop, how it goes through the first loop. Then I'll loop it back over, put it back through. So I'll do that right now. You don't want nothing blocking this reserve line, which I'll show you that in a little bit. Once we start rigging up this harness with the swing arms and stuff, I'll show you that. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and put our swing arms on. So we want to make sure nothing is twisted up. Make sure everything is straight, which everything looks pretty good on mine right now. So I will go ahead and get this nut off of here and this washer. Get this ready. Now you don't have to put Loctite on here because it's a lock nut, but I'm going to put it on there anyways just because that's what I like to do. I like to put the Loctite on there to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And so what you're going to use here is you're going to use a 13 millimeter wrench, and then your number 6 Allen. So we'll go ahead and put this in, put some Loctite on it, and stick her on in there, put our washers on. So there's 3 ways here. You have Loctite, a lock nut, plus a lock washer, and a flat washer. So you have 3 things here to make sure that this thing does not come out. And that's what I like. I like the redundancy of the safety. All right, so there we go. We linked it in there. So we're gonna go ahead and, like I said, we're gonna go ahead and put some Loctite on here. There we go. I got a Loctite on there now. We'll do that. and then we'll start sticking our nut and bolts on there. Or nuts and washers. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate here. Okay, so I'll move over a little bit. We'll go ahead and stick our washers on there. There goes the lock nut. Got our 13mm wrench. I'll stick it in here behind the harness. Get her nice and snug. Bang. All right, there we go. So that one's snugged up there. As you can see, we're good. Now we will do the other side. You will repeat the same on the other side. The other side has the same thing, the lock nut, lock washer, plus we're going to put the thread lock on there. So here we go. Make sure we have everything straight, make sure nothing's twisted. Oh, get it twisted, there we go. All right, there we go. And then we'll go over this little gadget too. Here in a little bit, I'll show you what this is. So we want to go, here is our, here is the cord for the reserve. It's on the outside, right? So we want to go under, closest to the harness with the swing arm, and bring this cord to the outside of it, because you don't want nothing blocking this reserve to be able to throw it out. So we will bring this to the outside, the swing arm in, put our bushing back in there. We want nothing blocking that reserve line. That is safety for your life. You don't want nothing to block that, ever. All right, so we got the bolt in there now. We will take our Loctite and put some Loctite on there. There we go. Now we will put our flat washer in there. It's a little bit of a tight space. Then we will put our lock washer and our lock nut. Put our lock nut on there. Get her up in there. It's taking me a little longer to put this thing together this time because I'm obviously making a video and trying to explain things, or else I'd usually be just whipping this thing together. Pretty good doing this. I mean, this is my third time putting this thing together. I'm taking it apart twice now. And, all right, it's nice and tight. Check our swing arm's good. Okay. Again, reserve cord to the outside of that. Nothing blocking that reserve. So now we will come over here and do our side straps. We have this, these are the side straps here. And we have our bottom straps here. So these side straps come through a hole right here. I'll show you. There's a little hole right here in this little plastic piece, that cover, you can see, and that's where the harness will braid through there. See the buckle there? Now the other side's a little tougher because of that reserve is right there, that pouch. I could unzip that and take that off and make it a little easier for myself to go through there. We'll see. I'll try to get her in there first. Okay, so we pull that in there, pull that pretty good. Now we'll loop it back through the buckle. Now what we can do is, we won't snug it up too much right now because we still have to do the other side. We'll come back to this. We'll go do the other side. This one's a little tougher, like I said, because of the reserve. Move our throttle cable back here. This one's a little tougher because of the, you can see the reserve pouch is right here in front of this buckle. And I have a big reserve. I have the Ozone Square Angel 140. So she's a big girl. She takes up some room in there. This is tight fit. Alright, so run her through her buckle. Run her back through again. Now we will pull her tight. I was gonna kind of want to go to one side and the other. It's gonna want to ride over to one side or the other. So you're just gonna have to kind of pull it even. Get her pulled even. We'll have to loosen this one up just a little. Okay, that's it. That's perfect. Alright. There we go. We got her nice and tight. Now we're gonna loop her back through her same end hole right here. That way it doesn't pull loose at all. There she goes. And there, see? We fed her back through. Now she can't come loose. And we will bring her back to this little hole right here. And then we can actually zip tie this to here. Which I'll show you that right now. So now that you have this back through the hole again, you can bring this zip tie through this and snug her up a little bit right there. And what that does is it doesn't let that strap flop around and come back, you know, flop in the wind and loosen itself back up. It hasn't happened, I'm sure, but I just don't want to take no risk. So I just put a zip tie on here to stop it from wanting to pull back through and flop around in the wind and end up maybe, I don't know, loosen it up. I don't think it will, but just in case, I do it anyways. So we'll take a zip tie over here on the other side. Do the same thing. I mean, I'm sure other people have, you know, better ideas. This is just the idea I came up with as I was assembling this thing, figuring things out. I was like, you know what, this will work. I try to make everything safer, you know, for myself. I got a family to come home to, kids to raise. Like I said, we'll loop it back through again, come back around the side of the frame there, and then we'll put the zip tie there to lock her in. See, here's our zip tie, and we will lock her in, keep her in there. Whoops, she came back out. Bam, there she is. Just tie it on there. I didn't pull it. I don't pull these super tight. I just barely snug them up a little bit just to hold it in place. I don't want to pull it tight and have any tension on that strap. So I just kind of zip it up a little bit and then that's it. Done. Alright. So now everything looks good with our swing arms. So now we have this strap here. So this strap comes over the harness straps, right? See? Then it comes in between the harness and the swing arms. You can see right here on that. Let's see. Let me angle this camera up a little bit. Okay. So this strap here comes off of your shoulder strap. We're gonna put that in between the harness and the swing arm. See? And then we'll come back down here to this, and I'll show you where we're going to bring these. And what these do, these are the limiters for how your chest straps come up as you're carrying it on your back. These limit these from pulling way up and dropping down to your ass, you know, or to your butt, I'm sorry. These stop that from doing that. So here on this frame, we will run those right here on this bar. You can put this thing on your back and adjust these as whatever you need. as you can see there. There you go. That's pretty good for me right there. That's about it. See? That's it. Perfect. Now I will loop this excess back through here. And all it does is add a little bit more friction on here, like I said earlier. And doesn't let anything slide. There we go. It doesn't let anything back out or slide around. You know, the thicker you have it in these buckles, the more resistance it has from sliding, as you can see. So that's that one. Now we'll go over here to this side and do this one. This one's already looped through underneath of our swing arm, underneath of our reserve, as you can see, underneath the harness, over the harness, under the swing arm, under the reserve line right here. And then we will come back over, like I said, zoom her back up, give her a little bit of play, let her come up a little bit. Then we'll loop her in, loop her back through again. Now once you have her pretty tight, now you come back through for the last time and pull her to the back of here, and then that adds an extra thickness and resistance for the strap to pull out, as you can see. Bam, there she is. Now that's your shoulder straps for picking it up when you're carrying and lugging this heavy thing around. This thing's pretty heavy, I'll say that. So now we'll get to this thing right here. This is from a guy named iKenFly PPG. iKen, K-E-N, fly PPG. You can find him on YouTube. I don't know if he offers these things anymore. I think he had stopped making them, and he had gathered one up. So this is like a little locking pin right here. So usually with your cruising, like you have a cruise control throttle, like the off-grid, which is what I want to get. This works good for it. But now when you're traveling and carrying this thing around, you can, there's a magnet in here. There's a magnet right here. And this thing will just lock right in here. Watch this. Bam. It locks right in. The thing is sweet, man. And then when you, like I said, when you're traveling, here's the lock. This keeps it from coming out. And this is how when I carry this thing around in my car, my truck, go from place to place, I stick it in there and you can see it swivels and it stays locked in. And what I did is I bolted mine right to my swing arm, as you can see here, and it doesn't go anywhere. And then whenever I go flying, I take this off, this little locking piece off. I leave this off in my truck. Like I can clip it on somewhere here, but I just leave it in my truck because I don't need it when I'm flying, because this magnet holds it in. Like when I go to use my phone or something, or mess with my camera, I will slide it in this real quick and it'll sit right there. And then of course when I'm traveling from place to place, carrying this in my truck, I put it in there with the little lock on it. So I don't know if he still offers these things. You can look him up, comment on his videos. And I'm not gonna put his email out there, but I'll let him do that if he tells you, yeah. But I bolted that on there. I also have a choke that I used to have bolted on this side. It's a little pull choke for the Polini Thor. I was thinking of putting it about on this side, but I really don't have to use a choke that much. This thing fires up really good. I don't have to really choke it that much. I mean, every once in a while I have to choke it when I first start it, but after that, that's it. It'll shut off. I can start it right back up. But I was gonna mount the choke. I have it right here, actually. Here it is. There's the choke right there. You pull this little knob, and that choke's it. Still got the screws and the nuts on there. That'll bolt right into these holes perfect on this frame, on these Kangook Kobra arms. I love those Kobra arms. These things are sweet. All right. So, all right, that's it. Let's get to putting the cage on now. So, once you loop these bottoms in right here, you will have to push down. So we got the bottoms looped in. You have to push down to get this pin lined up in the cage. See, you have to push it down a little bit to get that to lock into there. Now what we'll go ahead and do is we'll go ahead and strap this up real quick. That way it holds it while we're putting the other pieces on. It doesn't want to fall off. Oh, that was another thing that broke. So this strap back here on the bottom, the Velcro, they have it riveted in down here at the bottom. This strap had ripped out. So I just got some Velcro and put it back together myself. Made my own. There we go. All right, now we have the mid ones to do here. Now the easiest way to do this one is to, my buddy Cullen showed me this. These are for, I believe, the speed bar. So I take my carabiners, clip them into here. I've never used a speed bar. I don't plan on it. I've seen too many things happen to people using speed bars. So my wife asked me not to use speed bar, so I don't use it. But I clip this in here when I travel around. It holds the bottom of the seat up from touching the ground. So I will set that there, and I will use my leg to kind of prop this up, this harness up, kind of get this swing arm up out of the way. That way we can get in here to this last strap. But it's gonna be kind of hard right now. Usually I have help. Usually I have my daughter helping me do this stuff. So we'll bring it around here and get her in there. There we go. Okay. Bam. I'll move her through. Gotta twist it up a little bit. This one's kind of a pain in the butt to do. One of the things I was saying was with the zip ties on the straps. This is one of the straps that I do that with. I like to use a zip tie on this one to hold this one, because I've actually had these side ones right here come loose and flop around. So I do like to use that little zip tie trick that I showed you on these, and I will show you what I'm talking about here in just a second, because you have the exhaust right here, so you don't want those things flapping around. So there's that one. Okay. We'll go ahead and tighten this one too while we're down here. Bam. All right, get that one on there. Bam. The cage is, that side's done. And this is the side that have my anti-torque steer fin that I made on my prototype. Has it on there, as you can see. I have one for the other side. I took it off. I gotta put it back on. So we'll go ahead and stick this side on. And then we will do the 360 camera mount that I have, that I made. put the throttle cable up top, over the top of the swing arm for now, to hold it there. And like I said, you have to take this cage, hold on to it, and push to line her up. She's kind of tough to get in there. I guess especially if you've had butt landings like me, she's kind of hard to put in. There she goes. Alright. Alright, she's in there. Alright, so now I'll start at this bottom strap here. Okay. There we go. Now, we'll tighten this one up here first before we go back down there and tighten that one. So, get that in there. Get that in there. Okay, go ahead and come through here. Pull this strap. And I think we're gonna have to take the lighter and melt this one because this is the one I was having issues with. I was having issues with this strap here fraying. So what I'm having to do is kind of melt it a little bit, squeeze it. Because it was fraying, it was getting really hard to put into the buckle. It was really giving me issues. So I need to keep melting a little bit to get it to go in easier. Alright, now we should have no issues with that. So yeah, you'll need a lighter as you put it together too, to make sure if you have anything fraying or anything like that, you can fix it as you're going. So like I said, you're going to use your leg to pick up this reserve a little bit in this arm. That way it can help you get in here, because this is a really hard side to get into because of swing arm and the reserve kind of gets in your way. Now, this is what I say. If you're going to be a paramotor pilot, you're going to have to learn to be a mechanic. I mean, you don't have to, obviously. You can pay somebody to do this, but you're not going to be able to want to take this thing to the shop all the time and get it fixed. And I feel like you should want to do this yourself, figure all this stuff out. I would say definitely put it together your first time for yourself. I mean, you can watch videos to help you, but I would say put it together, man, do it yourself, and then take it to whoever you're gonna get training from or somebody, and have them check it out for you. And they can tell you if you did something right or wrong or whatever. But at least you know your machine. You know how it goes together. This is that buckle that's the hardest one out of all of them. There we go. All right. How do you use a pair of needle nose to get in there to grab that strap? We just melted it and, and frayed it back together. But still, it's hard. Okay, here we go. Now we'll squeeze the frame. We'll squeeze the frame and the cage together to get it to come tight, and pull the strap at the same time. That way it's a tight fit. Then we'll come around, we'll loop her back through the netting, because there's Velcro on this strap right here. So you will loop it back around and Velcro it to itself. Okay, so you'll see what I'm talking about. There's Velcro right here on this strap, right? But this will still come loose. So what I do is I put a zip tie on this back side of this one, on both sides. I put a zip tie to hold it from loosening up and coming back off. That's what I like to do. And I'll show you that here in just a second, what I like to do. So I'll take one of those little zip ties, one on each side, and zip tie that that buckle or that strap together. That way she doesn't come loose, because I've had the other side come loose before and be hitting on that exhaust. So I'll show you right here. There you go. You can see it there. So now we'll cut our excess off. There we go. And we'll do the same on the other side, on that other strap. Same thing. This one's kind of harder because the exhaust is right here in the way of where you're doing this. So you kind of pull it to the side and pull it towards the netting in the cage, the zip tie, as you're putting it on. Then when you just get it, you know, ran through the zip tie, you can push it back up in there with your finger behind the exhaust and get her in there that way. And then get your little cutters and cut her off, and there you go. And we're gonna set it on the floor to do the top piece because we're probably gonna have to bend this radiator bracket a little bit more. We'll see once we get there. So I'm gonna shut it off for a minute, change this battery, and then we'll set it on the floor, do the top hoop, do a couple more little run the throttle cable, the little spacer for that, check the radiator, put the prop on, and that's it. We'll be ready to go. So now we will take her down. But I forgot to show you guys this. Look at this. Oh, I must have messed up on this video. Look at it. It was just a full screen here just a second ago. Who is that guy? Whatever, you get the point. All right, so let's get this thing dropped down. Start messing with the top. There we go. Now this gorilla step, I love this thing. Take this thing to the field and keep it in the back of my truck and set it down on the ground. It's easier to get this thing on and off your back, you know. Way easier to use that thing. Now we'll slide this thing back a little bit. See if you can see it all. Now we'll start with the, this will slide back a little bit more. You can see her a little better. Move this step back a little bit. Now it's going to come the tricky part because we're probably going to have to bend this bracket a little bit to make room for this top piece. All right, here we go. See if all the hard work was worth it. Oh, perfect. Look at there. It's not hidden at all. Wow. Perfect fit the first shot. And I just eyeballed this when I linked this thing together. Wow. That's pretty amazing. All right, let's do these straps right here. That strap on. I guess we'll do this one. And then we'll switch over to the other side and do it. All right, now we'll put this side in. And loop this through down here and kind of hold it in place for now. And then we'll do this bottom strap first. You can really wrench this thing down with your hand as you're pulling it. So we'll see right here. So we'll put that there. Now we'll really put the wrench in on her, see, we'll squeeze her. Come back around the other side and loop her through. There we go. Bam. There she is. She's in there, she's tight. Now we'll do this one. Pull her in. Bam. Alright, those are tight. Radiator looks pretty good. I feel like we can actually pull it to us a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Man, there we go. Okay. Okay. Now, let's see. I was going to use just the new blue one. I might be able to use one of these Polini ones still for the bottom hose, but I kind of want this to match. I'm going to have to leave the very bottom one down here off of the water pump itself. I'm going to have to leave that one going to the jug. I'm going to have to leave that one, Polini one, because it has a 90 bit into it. So let's see. So that one will work for there, and this one will definitely work for there. Yeah, that's perfect. We're good to go. Beautiful. Man, I love when a plan comes together. All right, everyone. I hope that helped you. I hope you learned something from this and some of the ideas that I have for raising the radiator up, the anti-torque steer fins that I've built. I plan on making some more of those. I will let everyone know more about the radiator bracket as it goes along. Right now it's working out perfect. When I used to land, I used to put my hands on my radiator after I took it off my back, the paramotor off my back. I would grab the radiator with my hands and feel the head and the cylinder with my hands, and I could not hold it before. All right, it was too hot. Since I've raised this radiator up, I've made it in other videos that are coming up. You'll see. I put my hands on the radiator and on the cylinder and on the head, and I can hold them right after I land. It stays cool now, so it's working really good. We'll do some more testing on it. I'll let you guys know. Like I said, this is a two-part series. Everything is in the description below. You can skip to whatever section that helps you. If you have this frame or this engine or the combination of both, this video will help you. Again, I hope you subscribe, like, comment, share it, do all that stuff. Go check out my Instagram. Go check out my Facebook. I have everything right here. My Facebook is Butch Bad Life. That's the Facebook. And Instagram is 1bad_at_life. So go check those out. Thanks for tuning in. Go check out the second part of this video. And as always, stay bad.